Alright. So boom, after my first live battle that I tried to sponsor, in August, y'all know how my life fell apart. I told y'all in the previous segment. Um, so top of January, is when I started getting back 2020 January 2023, after I'd recovered from my car accident to some extent and got a new job, and I was, you know what I'm saying, kinda getting back in the groove of things. I was dead set on being the greatest sponsor battle rap I'd ever seen. I'd done a lot in the spaces, but it was like now it's time to show what I can do with live battles and to create more opportunities for my spaces guys. Even though half of them had like turned their back on me and the other half hadn't. Um, the reason I started sponsoring was Eunice, so it was important to me to repair that relationship. You know what I'm saying? So I reached out to Eunice and I was like, "Yo, you know what I'm saying? I want you to headline my first live event." And I said, to make things right, I'm gonna pay the back end of the battle that I missed out on in August, but I'm also gonna pay you to rap and I'm gonna have you headline. So I'm gonna pay the back end and I'm gonna pay you and I'm gonna pay your opponent. I'm gonna pay everybody on the card to rap, but I need you to headline because you're the reason I do this. You know what I'm saying? And Eunice clearly had a forgiving heart because he let the past be the past. I paid back what I owed on the back end for the previous battle, and he was like, "Yeah, it's a great opportunity." It was against Chef Trez. I was working with 3BL, Salute the Bills at the time. He had the idea to take the Spaces guys out and just put them all on the card. A lot of the names that I'm about to tell you that were on this card are names that are popping now, but this is 3 years ago, and a lot of y'all hadn't heard of some of these people. You know what I'm saying? So we did this card. It was called Out of Space with 3BL, and I sponsored the card. And this was my first sponsored event. Now, my first live battle that I sponsored was Ace and Sheed versus Appa and Eunice. I dropped the ball. My fault. Dropped the ball. But I was like, you know what? This is my first live event. I'm about to show them what I could really do. And I think Dice at the time had been, following my journey or whatever. Um, like my first few days on my new job, I was on the verge of leaving and moving back to LA and just saying forget everything because I was rock bottom. You know what I mean? I couldn't walk, I couldn't work. But then I got the new job and then I got back in position and I was able to just like really get myself back straight financially. Physically, this physical therapy was in bed a lot. So I was just, back to the best of my ability. Still, I would still need like 2, 3 days of recovery whenever I would work like 4 or 5 days in a row. But I was all right. You know what I'm saying? A lot more mobile than I am now. So boom, I do this card with 3BL called Out of Space. The opener was Bear Vaughn versus Lobo. Now Lobo was a 3BL talent, I believe. He used to be with us in the spaces a lot. I don't even know what happened to Lobo, but he was a good dude, you know what I'm saying? And Bear Vaughn was like one of the best punchers from the crowd. Salute the Crowd platform. They were incredible platform that, when I was on bed rest after my accident, the crowd used to really book me to battle. I even got offered bread that I turned down, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like I wanted my spaces guys to eat, but they really helped me like hone my craft as a battle rapper. So space Twitter space battle rapper. So I was able to battle on a lot of crowd cards. But Bear Vaughn to me was probably one of the best talents they ever produced. I'm not even sure where Bear Vaughn is now, but he made great music. He's an incredible puncher. So opening battle, Bear Vaughn versus Lobo. Remember the card's called Out of Space. So we were taking all the space battlers and putting them on this card. Next battle was Gorilla Monsoon versus Snip Drago. I've always thought Gorilla Monsoon was an incredible talent. From the moment I heard of him in like 2020 through 2022, late 2022, I always thought, yo, this kid's a star. Like he carry himself. He's got a huge personality. He could rap, great delivery. Like once he was able to put everything together, I knew he was going to be a star. It was just a matter of time. We ended up working together later on my third live event card. But my first live event card, he was booked to battle Snip Drago. Snip Drago was an incredible talent. He's a great actor. He's been in some major film roles. He's in what's that called? Black Messiah, I think was the name of the movie. Um, Pardon me if I'm saying the wrong movie, Snip. But Snip is an incredible battler. High entertainment factor, great delivery, very refreshing flow, throwback flow, just really like an incredible talent. So Gorilla Monsoon versus Snip Drago, big deal, right? Next was Briggs Belvy versus Rory Lauren. Rory Lauren is an incredible talent that came out of spaces as well, also from the crowd movement. And they broke off into different segments. It was GBE, it was Money Flowers, like, it was different segments, but they were the Crowd family at that time, you know what I'm saying? Um, Harvey. Ferrari was wilding in the spaces. Rari and I actually ended up battling at some point, which is pretty funny. One of my favorite battles ever, me and Rari. But Rari and Briggs Belvy was set up. The crowd actually contributed financially to that battle. So it was Briggs versus Rari. Briggs Belvy obviously being an incredible talent out of the southern region. I believe Bullpen was his home of origin. I could be wrong. So Briggs Belvy, pardon me, Briggs versus Rari, crazy puncher versus puncher. It was gonna be insane. Um, Next was Holmesy the God. You know, I've always been a huge Holmesy fan. I've always tried to book Holmesy on as many cards as I can. Um, I even had him battling in spaces. Like I'm a I mean, we talk smack back and forth on the internet, but I really am a huge fan of Holmesy's talent. Like he's an incredible battler. I think he's one of the greatest ever. He just needs his just due with bigger names. But he was gonna battle Rada God, who was another incredible spaces talent. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Let me get my life together. Hold on, I got some oranges here. Let me wake up. Hold on. 1 second. All right. Let's go. Let's get right. Holmesy the God versus Rada. Holmesy the God versus Rada God. Gonna be crazy. That was gonna be crazy. Then Prez Mafia versus Wusa. I told y'all the story of Wusop on last minute prep battling Dice and give me the greatest space battle on Independence Day. So of course I wanted to work with him again. Of course I wanted him outside. And Wusop was already doing his thing at OSBL, and he was real close with Bills. You know what I'm saying? So that was a no brainer. Prez Mafia, another incredible talent. I've worked with him a few times as well. Big salute to Prez. I think really um, the forefront of the way battlers rap. He kind of set the stage for a lot of things and that he doesn't get credit for. And then of course my headliner, Chef Trez versus Eunice. Chef Trez, incredible talent, you know, supported the spaces, uh, really created an opportunity for Eunice. They did a rematch on URL recently, but this was, you know, Eunice's big, big solo battle, major solo battle. Dare I say his first major solo battle with the name? I don't think he had a name before that. I could be wrong though, but I don't think so. So the stage was set, you know what I'm saying? Out of space. This was gonna be my first live major battle. I think there's also one more person, it's not on here, but it was originally set to be Rambo versus Forward Dev. Forward Dev was somebody that I had met at the Riot event, also a fan of his talent, and of course, Rambo was a major character in the spaces at one point, like really entertaining, solid dude from New York. I wanted to work with Rambo. I've always been a Rambo fan. You know what I'm saying? So these were all the battles that were on the card. It was a bunch of battles, and um, little by little, as the date came closer to the battle event, um, battle started to drop off for one reason or another. You know, this person couldn't make it. This person, you know, has something going on. This person returned their deposit. This person just I let them keep the deposit because I was like, I don't even know what's going on. Your opponent can't make it. You can keep the deposit. I was learning. You know what I'm saying? It was brand new experience for me. So all in all, it might have been like 7 or 8 battles on the card to begin with, but only 3 battles actually happened. I myself didn't even make it to the event, and I didn't go because it was just like every day that because I was working in contracting, if I wasn't working, I wasn't making money. So this is like has been a theme throughout my entire sponsorship journey. It's very heartbreaking for me personally. I'm not gonna cry on some woe is me thing, but it's like working contracting. If you're not working, you're not making money. And the days when I wasn't working, I had to physically recover from like my body. You know what I'm saying? I had to physically recover. So I had already attended a Riot event, and then I attended an OSBL event. You know what I'm saying? Which I'll get to a little later. But I couldn't like if I wasn't working, I was getting rehabbing. So it's like I couldn't take the time to go to my own event because it's just like, yo, I can't spend that time standing that long and doing all that traveling and just taking time off like that. Every sponsorship, I was earning the money and then paying for the battle. One like I was just sitting on large, vast amounts of money. I think a lot of people think that I was just swimming in money and just handing it out. I would work, earn the money, give a portion of it away, work, earn the money, give a portion of it away. So the same way you work for your check, imagine if you got yourself like a big check. Let's say you got a $4,000 check that week. Imagine that at least 2,000 of it was always going to battle rap. And that sounds crazy to say now, but this is the promise I made to God. This is fundamentally, my purpose in a way because I had made a promise to God, "Hey, if you put me in position to make some money, I'm going to create opportunities for people. I'm gonna spend at least half of my earnings creating opportunities." And that's what I did. I honored that through anything, through health issues, through all kinds of changes in my life. And at this time, top of the year, I had become a stepfather. You know what I'm saying? And going from being a single crazy man flying in and out of the country and in and out of the state, chasing girls and having excess income to being a stepfather and being a parent and 2 children and, being head of household, that shift is a huge shift. So, as I'm learning to be a sponsor, I'm learning to be a stepfather as well. It was crazy, it was a lot going on. So, I couldn't just take time off and go down to it was in North Carolina, in Charlotte or something. North Carolina? No, it was Charlotte. Go down to Charlotte and just, hang out. I couldn't do that anymore. I was in a new space. I was a parent, I had responsibilities, I had money to make, but I still wanted to stick to my commitment that I made to God and honor my commitment of creating opportunities for people because I wanted an opportunity coming up. I had prayed for an opportunity and I knew that if I got my opportunity, I would make sure that I help others get an opportunity as well. So I didn't attend the event, and that was a lot to explain to people at the time. So people just like, "Yo, what kind of dude sponsors this event? And don't show up." I'm sure it was crazy, but hey, I had 5 days that I could walk. The other days I was in bed. 5 days to walk, 2 days in bed, on and off, on and off, and off, on and off. And it wasn't consecutive. So like if I would work Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday, my body can't do nothing, I'm out for the count Wednesday, Thursday. Then I'm back at it Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Whatever day that my body broke down, that was it. So and that was the biggest shift after the car accident was like a lot less traveling, a lot less socializing and mingling and stuff. My body just couldn't take it. You know what I mean? My body just now it's even worse. Now I'm down to like 2, 3 days at most. It's sometimes it'll be an hour. Sometimes I'll be out and about for 1 hour. I went grocery shopping, yeah, yesterday, and, like, after the grocery shopping, I was done. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, grocery shopping took an hour, and after that, I was cooked. You know what I'm saying? So I say all of that to say that, like, I just physically although this was my passion and something I was truly invested in, my body was just taking its toll. So the anytime my body was functional, I had to make sure I was working because I knew the days where my body wasn't functional, not only was I not working, but I wasn't making money. When you're in contracting, is 3 things you need to know about contracting. The checks are great, but they come sporadically, and the second thing is if you take a day off, you not getting paid. There's no sick days, there's no vacation time off, the paid vacation. There's none of that. You work and work and work. If you take time off, you're not making no money. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? And shifting from a single man with no responsibilities to a parent of two and being in a committed relationship and building that kind of household, it was such a major shift. Though I love my passion of battle rap sponsoring and though I loved creating opportunities for people, I just could not be as physically involved as I wanted to be, which is kind of sad. Imagine making all these sacrifices to create all these opportunities and you can't even attend the battles the way you want to. And before I was sponsoring, I had been to an event. You know what I mean? I'd been out to Compton on the last minute trip tip, just got up and went. You know what I'm saying? But like now, I couldn't do that no more. Not only was I not physically able, but I also had responsibilities. So enough about that. So the card goes down. The day comes for the card to happen. So Bear Vaughn and Lobo, they open the card. Goes well. Gorilla Monsoon and Snip Drago did not happen. Briggs Belvy and Rory Lauren did not happen. Forward Devin Rambo did not happen. Holmesy the God, Rada God did not happen. Prez Mafia versus Wusa did happen. And Chef Trez versus Eunice did happen. The 3 battles out of like 7 or 8 battles that were booked went down. And this was my introduction to booking live battles. And this is January 2023. We are in May 2026, and full cards not happening is still an issue. It's nothing new. This has been happening in battle rap since the beginning of my journey. You know what I'm saying? So when people are outraged that battles not happening nowadays, I'll be laughing because it's like I remember my very first card, Out of Space, 7, 8 battles booked, 3 battles actually happened. Now, so let me talk about those 3 battles that happened. Bear Vaughn versus Lobo was dope. Bear Vaughn did his numbers as always. I had Bear Vaughn winning. Lobo did good, but I had Bear Vaughn just setting the standard, incredible puncher. I wish I coulda worked with him more. He kinda disappeared off the scene after a while. I really don't know where he's at now. Um, he did a great job, but even though his battle happened, it never came out. The second battle that happened was Prez Mafia versus Wusa. Very dope battle. Very, very dope battle. Wusa did his numbers, Prez did his numbers. The battle never came out. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Wu went on to use that material for other battles and stuff. So it'd be kind of crazy to even release that battle at this point. You know what I'm saying? But the battle never got released. The only battle that was released out of like 7 or 8 battles on the card, and only 3 of them happening was one battle, and that's Chef Trez versus Eunice. It's an amazing battle. Chef Trez versus Eunice part 1, don't get it twisted. Chef Trez versus Eunice part 2 was great. You know what I'm saying? That happened on the URL, salute the URL. I was not involved, but I was full support of it. But the first Chef Trez versus Eunice 3-round battle happened January 2023, sponsored by We the Fans. It is out. It is a very good battle. Eunice has a amazing third round, very close battle. You can decide who you have winning, but I'm so proud of that battle. Even though it's one battle released from an entire event, I was so proud of that battle. That battle means so much to me because it was the mending of the fences with Eunice. It was a big headliner. It was Chef Trez who went on to be one of, as we all know, Chef Trez is one of the Southern legends. So big salute to him for even accepting the battle because he didn't have to do that. It really wasn't nothing in it for him aside from the bread. But he highlighted Eunice as a talent before he got the URL. Um, it helped my brand. Say what you want, even if the card was a disaster, my brand grew. People started to tap in and say, "Yo, who's We the Fans? Like, what's going on? Who's Frank White?" You know what I'm saying? So my first live battle, epic fail. I reneged on paying for the back end until way months later, um, and really made life difficult for a lot of people, for which I apologize, of course. And then my first live event, people made life difficult for me because only one battle went down out of the 7 battles that were booked. You know what I'm saying? But I say all of that to say that things go wrong. And I did not let either of those incidences discourage me. If anything, this fueled me even more. I lost a lot of money on this event, a lot of money on this event. If you combine what the event cost me plus what I had to pay back, it was a lot of money. And at that time, remember, I'm just getting back on my feet. I'm just getting enough money, just getting stable, just becoming a parent, just becoming a leader of the household. It was a lot going on at that time, man. It was so much. I was under so much pressure. But hey, if you really trying to do something great, it's gonna come with its obstacles. And I hope that this motivates you because if you're trying to do something great right now and you're facing all kinds of obstacles, just know my first live battle, epic fail. My first live event, epic fail. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everything comes with obstacles, and this game gonna test you. Life gonna test you. You know what I'm saying? And it's on you to decide how you're gonna react to that. And this was January 2020. I'm sorry, the event actually was February, but obviously I booked the event in January. Event happened in February. Um, I remember from April 2023, I was like, "Yo, this is my birthday month. I'm not doing a damn thing. I'm gonna chill for a second. Let me get my life together." I needed that month to bounce back from the financial loss that was my first live event, and then I immediately somebody hit me. I can't remember who it was. I want to say Rita because Rita always used to keep me in check. Big salute to Rita. I don't know if it was Rita or a combination of a couple people that I talked to. Might have been 40 bars actually. I can't remember. It might have been 40 and Rita or 40 or Rita. All I know is I was speaking to one of them and they were telling me that, yo, how is it we the fans did all these battles and never booked the ladies? And I was like, damn. I had all these space battles and like I had on my very first card in the spaces in January 2022, I had booked Rainfire Moon and Rock Lee, who went on to be legends, but all the other battles I had done was all dudes. You know what I'm saying? It was all dudes. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to my roots, back to what I know, and I'm gonna do a spaces card highlighting the ladies. And I'm gonna call it Poetic Justice. Cause I love, you know what I'm saying, naming my cards after movies, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna talk to y'all about Poetic Justice tomorrow. But yeah, that was the story of my first live event. 7 or 8 battles booked and only 1 battle got released and only 3 battles happened. So this is 2023, February, you know what I'm saying? 3 years plus. Crazy. And today's actually the anniversary, the 2nd anniversary of my 3rd live event that I did. Hold on, no, I'm sorry, my 2nd live event. I did a full card. We'll get to it, but May 18th, 2024, I did my 2nd live event where I pitted 2 leagues against each other. It was OSBL versus Gates of the Garden, and I sponsored that entire event. Also had some cancellation battles on that card too, but most of the battles went down, and it was a very dope event. Um, but that's a story for another day. Today was the discussion about my very first live event that I sponsored. Only 1 battle got released, only 3 battles happened out of 7, uh, but all these talents that I named, they went on to do great things, you know? Gorilla Monsoon, we ended up working together again. He actually ended up being on my 3rd and final live event that I sponsored, for URL called Initiation 3, and that was damn near 3 years later, you know what I'm saying? Um, it's so many talented people on that card, man. I just wanted them to succeed. I just wanted to create opportunities for them. I had so much going on in my personal life. 2022 was the car accident. 2023 had to be becoming a step parent and moving in and settling down with my best friend and creating a life together. That was 100% a big event, you know. And every year that I've been pushing this sponsorship, something major has happened every year. And another major event happened in 2023 to set me back. But I'm gonna tell that story later. Um, I'll see y'all tomorrow. I appreciate y'all. We the fans is for the culture. You heard? I'm out of here.